Okay, I hope everybody's doing well. Today I'm going to work on the review sheet that you did. Hopefully everyone got that turned in. If not, you will not be able to turn it in. Maybe I'll give you some extra credit problems or something. But also, you guys need to look at your grades online. A lot of you still owe me a lot of homework, and that does count 30% of your grade. Homework counts 30% of your grade. So make sure you get that turned in. Also, you'll notice that My Math Lab has not been imported into your grade yet, so that'll help your grade too. I'll try to get those imported. It's weird how you have to do it. But anyway, this is going to be the review for the exam. I will post the exam. I think it goes online tonight, and you'll have through Sunday night at midnight to finish it. Okay, so either you have this week, and then for you guys that need to do it on the weekend, you'll have that weekend. If you need to take the exam with me in class, then just make your appointment to come in and take the exam here, and that's perfectly fine. Also, if you are in Gadsden and need to take the exam up there, I'll work it out with one of your instructors, okay? So the first type, it says, determine whether each angle below is acute, obtuse, or right. Well, we know that, like number 3, a right angle, that's 90 degrees, right? So anything below 90 degrees, so in this case about 30 degrees, this would be a acute triangle. Okay, below 90 degrees is an acute. Above 90 degrees, like this one, which is probably about 100 degrees, just kind of estimating, that's going to be called an obtuse angle. Again, a right triangle is 90 degrees, and this one that looks different, not exactly, but if you turn it, you'll be able to see that that is less than 90 degrees, and this will also be called acute. Okay, so on the test, you'll have 4 of these, real similar to the ones you have here as examples. Okay, if you have any questions, this is in chapter 8. Okay, now these, you need to find the size of the missing angles. Now we know that there is 180 degrees in a triangle, and that's how we're going to be able to solve these angles, okay? So if we know there's 180 degrees in a triangle, like number 5, we could say 180 degrees minus 40 degrees minus 40 degrees. And that's going to give us our angle, which is going to be 100 degrees. So that missing angle there is 100 degrees. Now those type are pretty easy, but like number 6 is going to be a different story here. We have A, B, and C. So we see that these are interior angles and so forth. They still have to add up to 180 degrees. So if that's the case, 6A is going to be 180 degrees minus 85 degrees. And that's going to give us 95 degrees. Now, if A is 95 degrees, the interior angle of C is also going to equal 95 degrees. And then B is the interior angle of the 85 degrees, so B is going to be 85 degrees. So those are pretty easy once you find A. Now on number 7, you notice you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's okay. We can figure this out, okay? We still use the 180 degree rule, and we see that we have this 50 degrees here. So B then is going to be 50 degrees. Okay? And A, if this is 50 and B is 50, then A is going to be 180 minus 50, which equals 130 degrees. If A is 130 degrees, C is going to be 130 degrees by the interior angle rule. Now what about E, D, F, and G? Well, E is the same angle as A, okay? So E equals A, which is 130 degrees. And if E is 130, then G is going to be 130. Okay. Now what about F and D? D is going to be the same as B. So D is going to equal 50 degrees. And by the interior angle law, F is going to equal 50 degrees. So let's review that again. So we have this angle here, ABCD. D is 50 degrees. So by the interior angle law, if it's going to be, these have to add up to 80 degrees, or 180 degrees, so it's going to be 180 minus 50 is 130 for A. Well, if A is 130, by the interior angle rule, C is going to be 130. Okay? And B is going to be 50. Now E is going to be the same as A, because you can see that angle is going to be the same. That's going to be 130. Therefore, G is going to be 130. And D is the same as B. That angle is the same, so it's going to be 50. And by the interior angle law, F is going to be 50. And that's how you work these. So you'll have 3 of these, very similar to this, on your test. The next type is you're going to find the size of the missing angle and angles. Very similar. Again, these have to add up to 180 degrees, okay? So 8 is going to be 180 minus 77 minus 48 equals 55 degrees. Number 9 is going to be 180 minus 49 degrees. And that's going to be 131 degrees. So very, very similar. Now D, notice, this is a 90-degree angle, okay? So it's not 180. So when you do that, it's going to be 90 minus 32, which is going to equal 58 degrees, okay? So that one's a 90-degree angle. And that's how you work those. Again, you're going to have 3 very similar problems on your test. Now these don't require any kind of formulas, so you won't have any formulas on any of these. Now the next type, you're going to need formulas. So the way I worked it out on the test is I put each set of formulas with each problem, so you didn't have to go back and forth and look for it. So your formulas will be with each type of problem that you need. Now, one thing I noticed on your review sheets was that a lot of you, like on number 11 here, it tells you it needs the perimeter or circumference and the area. So there was 2 parts of each one of these problems, okay? So first you had to find the perimeter, and then you had to find the area. Now remember, the perimeter of a triangle, you're just going to add these up. So it's going to be 4 inches plus 5 inches plus 3 inches, which is 12 inches. Okay, so that's going to equal the perimeter. And then the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So it's going to be 1/2 times 3 times 4. And that's going to equal 6 inches squared. Remember, the area is always squared, okay? The area is always squared and the volume is always cubed. So there's 2 answers to this problem. And on the test, there's going to be 2 answers. Please read your units here, okay? Read the problem and know that you have 2 answers. All right, so this one, that's how you work it, perimeter and area of a triangle. The next one's going to be the perimeter and area of a square. So the perimeter is going to be 3/4 inches plus 3/4 inches plus 3/4 inches plus 3/4 inches. So that's going to equal 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches. Now, that's going to be the perimeter. And your area is going to be width times height. So it's going to be 3/4 inches times 3/4 inches. So that's going to equal 0.5625. And again, area is inches squared. Okay. All right. So that's going to be your area. And again, your formulas are at the top if you need them. Perimeter, you just add the sides. Okay, so you're going to have one type like this. Now, for a circle, we know we're looking for the circumference and not the, for the perimeter, you're going to be looking for that, the circumference, okay? So for the perimeter, it's actually going to be the circumference 2 pi r. So that's going to be 2 times pi times the radius, which is 5. So when you do that multiplication, you're going to get 31.4 centimeters. for your circumference. Okay? Now for your area, it's pi r squared for a circle. So that's going to be pi times r, 5 squared. And when you do that, you're going to get 78.54 centimeters squared for your area. Again, area is always squared. And make sure you do 2 parts to this problem. I think almost everyone except maybe 2 people only did the perimeter. Okay, you've got to read what it tells you to do. Okay, so you'll have those on your test. Okay, now the next type is where we get into the 3D dimensions. Again, I'm going to give you your formulas just like it's showing here for each problem, so you don't have to go back and forth and look for the formulas. Now you do have to know which formulas to use, okay, and how to use them. Now on this one, you've got to find the lateral surface area, the total surface area, and the volume. 3 answers, okay, and each answer counts. I think this one counts 9 points on the test, so 3 points per answer. And again, you'll need to find each part. So the lateral surface area for this shape is going to be L equals P times H. So it's just a basic prism. So you're going to have to find the perimeter and then find the height. So when you do the perimeter first, it's going to be 4 centimeters plus 10 centimeters plus 7 centimeters. And that's going to equal 22 centimeters. So L is going to equal the perimeter times height. So the perimeter is 22 centimeters times our height, which is 10 centimeters.